Good morning. Good day. Good way. Hope things are going fine. Where you going? Um, I want to make a video, and this was an interesting month. And I was looking on one of the news channel here on my television, and it's talk about this specific month. It's Asian and Pacific or Island month. And during this month, like most people in this country do, they celebrate their heritage. No matter you Latino, Black, Native American, or other different groups of people uh, celebrating their heritage, and should be so because every group of people contribute something to society. But one of the things when it comes to sense, I'm address about the Asian thing that some people say, why is there so much Asian hate, and why is it rising in America and against anybody who's Asian? And you may not have to be necessarily Chinese, but you look similar to Chinese. You can be Korean, from Singapore, from India, the Philippines, Vietnamese, or any of those other Asian nations over there near the Pacific. Um, is I agree. Somebody should not jump on and kill somebody, harm somebody just because they're Asian, here or anywhere. I totally agree with that. 100% agree. Nobody should have to do that. Have to jump on somebody. But how did this came about? Why is it that they did this? One particular group out of the Asian group was the Chinese. Chinese is getting the most brunt of it because the Chinese go to different parts of the world, and they go to places like Jamaica, they go to places like Africa, they go to certain places. But here's the thing about about them, and this is not we're dealing with the other Asian groups. They have a superiority complex. Some of them have a superior complex. And when I see parts of places where they're not the majority, but they have some businesses, they tend to do things that they do on people that is happening to people here. They have their own version of discrimination. They have their own. Some of them have their own mind. Some instances of colonialism when someone go and work for them at their business and shop. And so some of them don't think that even though you go into another nation with this mindset, which you or a poor nation of people, and sometimes it's the Chinese. Now, here in America, they come into particularly community, which is near poverty community, and the Black community and like some communities give them. They go through certain things here. You get some bad characters of people that jump on them and rob them. You get a few ignorant individuals that it happens to. However, and but that is it. So the Chinese, and you move to the next diversion is the Koreans. The Koreans had one of the biggest clashes with Americans. Had clashes because they something happened where some people have come into the store and steal. So they go into the majority of it, like the inner city areas, set up shop, whatever, and some people they can't really communicate the language too well. And then so you go around people that they can't communicate the language too well. And then there's some people that have a certain demeanor in that neighborhood, and it creates a certain sort of a tension. And so they have a warped perception of the people that they put their business around, and they have made their success off of people that look like myself in the community. And so this, but it is a totem pole scale, because really it's the white counterparts that's giving the ones who they kind of high regards with the blonde hair and blue eyes and high education, and some of them is the one that some of them demographically marry into. Them the ones that's calling them out their names. Them the ones that's calling them and making racial jokes. Them the ones that jumped on them, their kids, having their kids call them the C word, the G word, and things like that. Them the ones. Most black people don't have no smoke with Chinese or Korean or Asian people, but yet some Asian people, some come to the community with this mindset. See, we got dressed it from the other side too. So it's messed up, because maybe if you Vietnamese or maybe if you Philippine that looks similar to Chinese, you get it, because you getting flocked because it's something what the Chinese did and certain Koreans did, or you Japanese. I'm just trying to show you. I'm not justifying someone jumping on somebody, someone calling somebody out their name, someone put something. But I'm gonna tell you why there's Asian hate, and they come over, and that's what they do. And so even though they're looking at one community this way, it's another community that they really hold high up into regards to give them, which is 88% of the people around us. And some of the people out of 88% is committing, as far as another ethnic group, is calling them out their name. Some of the 88% is made up all the racial names when the time they got to this country. It was them that did that. We had nothing to do. We as black people had nothing to do with that. We learned, if we learned to call you out your name, we learned it from them. That's a fact. But they move it to the community, and people. You have some people in the city that do commit crime that are black. Some. It's not because they rob you because you're Asian or you're white. They'll rob a black person. That's a fact. But if you're scared of black people, and this is to the Chinese or Koreans, why do you major in the business where the texture of the chemicals in hair are not of your culture? Why do you want to see the same people and want people and make money off the people that don't look like you? Why you want to put your business around the people that really you should be around the people who kind of you do daily business with in every other arena, from health to medical to IT. Shouldn't they do a business in that? And this is towards the Koreans that got these black home hair businesses. Why did they come into the black community? They're not black. They don't want, and some of them don't want to be around blacks. Some of them don't think highly of blacks, and some of them are scared of blacks. But yet they want to own the shops and feel that the blacks gonna come in here and rob and steal from their store. Why is that? Why do you come to a community of people who you think gonna rob and steal from you? And this is what I would have to ask that. Why would you come to a people that you think that some people, not all in that community, think that they have a low regard for people just because the complexion of the skin and the region of the world they come from. And then why would you go to that region of the world, like the Caribbean in Africa, to go down there? That's would be my and this is a fair question. This is a fair question. I'm just curious. Why do you want to go around to people who you don't think highly has intelligent? You really don't do business with them. You really and then you go to the continent. You really don't tie into it, but you deal with the other nations that have business in there, and the ones that kind of got to their leader out of the black nations. Why do they do this? Why? When you have most of Europe and other places, the next people that look like you, the next people that you put to high regard, some of them put to high regards as far as education, when they go to Britain, when they go to France, when they go to Berlin, Sweden, different places like that. You find Asians there. You go to Israel, you can find some Asians. But why is it around the black nations that they got to come around? Most of us is at the bottom of the totem pole. And then when they get over to the nations, or the continent, they get this condescending attitude. Chinese do this, but it's not has nothing to do with the Vietnamese. It has nothing to do with the Philippines. It has nothing to do with these other people. But there's even among the Asian community, there's a certain level. So the same people that's getting that smoke here is that the same people they probably kind of look even some of the other Asian groups like that. But in America, you got to understand, they don't see the different Asian groups. They don't see, well, we're the Chinese and them just the Vietnamese and the lower half of the Philippines. They're just the lower part. They're not really in high positions of authority like we are. But yet, when the higher Asians come over here, the Chinese, the Koreans, and the other group, they get shocked because here they try to be equally next to the masters of the Europeans, and some of the European groups don't like them, and getting smoked and giving smoke to get their children, and giving smoke to their parents. This is it's messed up, but this is going around, and overall, anybody can say God made us all equal, right? But as we all made equal, He gave us common sense. Even if some people didn't even believe in the same God that we do, you got to have some common sense enough to know that there's some. Even if I was raised to worship a different God, even if I was raised to work in a different religion, I got to understand that if I go to some part of the world and raise my kids for two or three generations, that there's a reason why they're there, and it's the reason why do I have to think that I'm better than these people, and I got to adjust my mentality and my morality, my moral to what's going on. If I go and even if I was a richer billionaire, what kind of money? And if I decide to go to some place, go to South America somewhere, and I look to a group of people, I set up shop. Then I pick out a certain group of people I really, that look at poverty, and maybe that because their condition, and I start thinking I got this superior complex because some people that look like me that had vested down in and say, look at these little poor little peon locals. See, some Asian people pick up that mindset too, just like the other counterpart. See, somebody got to tell the other side of the tracks. I'm just being honest with you. This is the reason why that they pick up in different places, and other people don't mind you living next door to them. Other people don't mind that you doing business with them. But why would you go around certain individuals? You scared and you afraid and you don't like them. I'm just curious. I'm just curious. But as unfair, the Filipino people ain't like that. I know that the Vietnamese people ain't like that. I know that the Cambodian people ain't like that. I know that the Japanese people ain't like that. Certain ones ain't like that. I know, but it's too bad because they look similar to the similar nation of the other people, the Koreans, the Chinese, and other people. They get the smoke. They get jumped on. But I'm telling you the reason why y'all get jumped on. Why some of these people doing this who are prejudiced, and it's clearly, of course, they're clearly out of ignorance. It's because what they put out, what they've done, and what their mindset was. And I said this, and it's not justifying someone jumping on an elderly Asian man or Asian woman, or beating up a little Asian girl, Asian boy in school. But this is what they don't see. This is America. But when some Asian people even go to Africa and go to a place like Kenya or some place like that, you get some owners that want to come in sneak with a deal, get their workers and start and then try to bully their workers, put them in a colonial mindset by tying them to a pole and beating their worker. The Chinese do this, not the other Asian groups of people do this, and then it's popped off. You have to go to some in which they don't want to put this on mainstream media. So someone has to come from their country to expose what some of the Chinese people are doing over there. And so they come after the colonial mindset of the French, some British, and other European, and carry that mindset with them. Now African people don't mind you coming to their country. African people don't mind. But when you come over to the country with this arrogant supremacy attitude from some of the citizens from China, then they say, "Hey, wait a minute, hold on, this mindset," and they expect you. They have you got to learn Mandarin and the other one Cantonese. No, they don't. You come to that's their land, but the Chinese have done this in different parts. They do it down in the Caribbean. Fact. And so when they get the smoke from some of the people down there, this is the Chinese. And I don't know about the Koreans, the Japanese doing that down there, but the Chinese is the main one that's doing it. That's what it was. And my heart goes out to the ones who ain't Chinese, the ones who ain't part of that, who come up with the ones who carry, if they are Chinese, that they don't carry that kind of mindset. But this is the reason. But if you Chinese American, this what you got, Asian American who happen to be Chinese or any other Asian. This is the reason why. This is the reason why. Oh my goodness, they burnt that Asian store down. Man, they rocked that Asian store because what kind of demeanor did they come into? Because he see that they come over, well, these people are just as poor as these people. And they're not very articulate, and they don't have the education like they do. So they come with the superior mindset. And they don't think people are not going to pick that up. Then they come when they do business with them and carry it over into their business. I'm telling you what it is. And it's the same spirit that from there they come over here and they deal with the ones that's dealing with people over here. And you have and some people don't know this until they go to a certain African American channels that cover the descendants of Africans, and then you find out what's really going on from the citizens that some made collaboration with blacks and the black people over to the Caribbean and black people to the continent. and saying, what is the Asian people doing there? These other people doing there. I'm just letting you know, but it's the same thing that carry that spirit over here into the inner cities, throughout the inner cities. And like I said, no one deserved to rob somebody, hurt somebody, name somebody. But my question is, why don't they be around the people who that won't feel like that put them in that fear of, man, these people gonna rob me. Then it's like, then why do you have your store down there? Why do you have your business down there if you don't think highly of these people? That's my question. To this particular Asian group of people, not to all Asian groups of people, because not all Asian groups of people are the same. And then you have some Asian Americans that have the gall that when black people try to get their thing, they got to chime on in. After witnessing countless horrific things that happen to African Americans, chiming on in with a certain mindset and saying that we got some kind of a privilege. And clearly, black people don't have no privilege. Black people don't even have no power. Black people only have a third, not even 1% of the 90% of the wealth that the rest of our counterparts have in this country. Black people is getting their stuff taken away from. Black people, this is just black people. Black people getting medically discriminated. Black people, this is what these other people don't understand. They don't understand that there's no privilege for black people. Someone took the privilege when they replaced it with an orientation. They replaced it when they allowed another people. They took the privilege from so-called the founding people at the same time, like the people from other nations when they first built the things in the country. But the majority of the people that did some of the cotton picking in the South, building up the White House was people that look like me, and it really offends some people when they come over into the community and they start taking a smoke break, but you're 90% of the people who's not distributing hate towards you. It's the ones you kind of admire. Some that look like the people off majority of your TV station. Some of the majority of your business. Some of the people that they go with the school with, the people that go into your law enforcement, do all that govern the 7 things in the county and throughout the country that look like you put up on the high skill, high regards. But when it comes to people that look like me, it's like, you stay away from those uneducated people, and these uneducated, wild, barbaric people, whatever. But at the same time, when it comes to the Chinese, particularly in some certain Koreans, they got their business among the same people that they kind of don't have high regards. And so when then they contribute well and bring over and bring their families over here, and they come off the wealth of the people that look like myself. What I'm stating is all true and facts, because you see it throughout America, in certain places in America. You see it in Atlanta, Georgia. You see it in Detroit, Michigan. You see it in New York City. You see it in Los Angeles, California. You see it in Seattle, Washington. I said, if there's a poor area, and not taken away from the white his poor county spot, that's right there. And then they have African. Why you selling African products when you don't think highly of Africans? Just to my Korean counterparts and Chinese counterpart. Why? When the people who you should do business with, who won't come into your store and steal, who you feel won't come into your store, who will not come into your store and steal, and you have some ignorant conversation who you highly regard, who 90% of your homes are next to is the people in the suburbs and people in probably rural and suburb area, that people that don't look like myself. That doesn't make no sense, do it? And they'll give you, and the people out there in the area, good percentage will support you, and you safe. Now, you might get a little back tone, but not everybody. But some of them will stand up for you more. Fact, because that's where you go anyway. You go in a rural in the suburban area, because I see the business out there, throughout here in Ohio and other places. But that's for the Chinese, and of course, once in a while you'll see a Vietnamese shop out there, and hey, I understand, or Korean, but that's what you should go. Why do you do business with us? Why do you trying to get us to give finance you when we're not equal to you? And this is the one that a lot interact and have business based on black products. These are the people. This to them people. Why do you? Why? That's my question to, and them the ones that's Americans that get their relatives over there in their native country. Why? Can you explain that to me? But other than that, I don't think somebody should jump on you. I don't think somebody should hate you. I don't think somebody should call you out your name and harass your kids or anything like that. Or even if you have a sex, no one should. You have a sexual orientation. Nobody shouldn't be doing that to anybody. Nobody should have to put someone down and commit violence and cause injury, maim, harm, and close to death. No whatsoever. No whatsoever. Because the only simple situation is, even though we live in a land filled with cities and massive things, we don't have to really interact with each other. We have enough land and enough stuff not to have to come across another human being in the United States that look different than us. We do. We do. And why would you try to be around people knowing that you're going to get that smoke? Going to get that kind of backlash? When and well, but I guess I have to question something like I definitely, that goes through my mind. And in fact, I think y'all should have your own hospital. You get a good percentage of, you got some of you in different sector of business. It's always been like that. And the only way, in the same way I would tell my black people, that's easy to do. You don't have to interact with these people. We don't have to interact with people who are prejudiced and racist or have a high certain regard. You don't have to, that's one thing I said. It's like me. If someone don't like me, why do I have to go and give them prosper them? Why I'm going to put, if I had children, put my kids around them? Doesn't make no sense. It does not make no sense. But I definitely agree with that. That no one should have to go through that. And it's a shame that someone has that happened down in Atlanta. And what happened up in New York to them Asian people in Atlanta, that's messed up. That definitely messed up. But unfortunately, like other groups of people, America is built on bloodshed and racism. Sorry, it is what it is. It's all, and it will continue to be from generation after generation. It's a spirit of racism. Never let, and we just don't want to. We try to make it seem like it because we paint the picture of it. But the reality of it is when you go to them cities and you live around it, it's a whole different scenario than what Hollywood make it, the way TV make it. I mean, not everybody is agreement that everybody's, but it's that element. It's everywhere. It's that element, whatever, and you're not the only group of people that's going through this. You're not the only group of people that have been picked on, made mocked and made fun of because of what you look like, what type of clothing you wear. You're not the only people who've been a victim of this hate crime. We still, as people that look like myself and other particular people, have gone through some, and particularly African Americans, still going through racism. Even the children is still going through it, just because the texture of their hair, because they wear the hair a certain texture way. They can't come into it. They can't be more than 3 or 4 in a room without someone thinking that their kid's about to do something. Watch them kids. That's just on children. This came from generation after generation after generation. And as far as the people who are Arabic and some of them have Muslim, they really catch smoke. Because during the Gulf War, even if you could have been from India, but if you dress like, if you were Sikh of the Sikh religion, oh my goodness, they ready to jump on you. Oh yeah. It's like, and you might say, I'm not from that part of the world where Saddam lives, Osama bin Laden was from, or where Saddam Hussein from. But see, America don't see that. When they see a Middle Eastern person, a dark tan complected Middle Eastern sound like Arabic, some people get racist here. Fact. Go around there. What are they saying? Are they plotting? They planning? And why they looking like that? America's racist, bro. It is. Sorry, to the Asian people, it is. It's on everybody, and some of them get picked on. Their kids get picked on. They get called out. Why are they wearing that? Why are the girls wearing that burqa, what they call that over their head? Why do people wear that, have that donut stand in the head? America don't like difference. America think that you should conform to them. I don't understand your language. It's wondering what's wrong with them people. That's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. I'm just pointing out, we don't like to talk about this, but yeah, and this cycle goes right back around, and even probably some the indigenous native people go through some stuff, or they go, and that's why they make mascots of them. That's because you imagine that. I'm telling you, every other than the people that, which is 90% of the people that, out of the 90%, the 40% is racist in different parts of the states. Then they got riots with the group, and then they teach their kids that to another group because it was built on that. From generation to generation, some of the people in that generation, among those people, carry that spirit of it from generation to generation. There was segregation from generation to generation in different parts of this country. Still is separated. Still is. 2022, still going through that. So my Asian counterpart, that's just the way it is. But the people who suffered, who go through the worst and continually go through, most of the people that go through this, you will never be labeled just because not by the supremacist system saying according to the brain of the African American, they have a slow frequency of learning. But we're not racist though. You'll never be put on that scale. Why because the reason why, because they lack a certain etiquette and work skills, so that's why they did what they did. But we're not racist though. See, they can put stuff like that against us. They ain't gonna put like that stuff against you. They ain't gonna put stuff like that against you. That's why they put you in high regards even today on TV. They're not really trying to really put something in you that kind of put your man against the woman, like they do people that look like in my community. And then some of us when we get the bag, because some of us never experienced that kind of wealth, and this goes back to history, because like you take the 2% of the educated blacks, but they really, all they see the educated blacks don't see like they see how they see the uneducated black. When they look at the back of their origin, they think that it comes from a part of the region that these people live next to animals and monkeys, and when they look at where their descendants come from, they came from south. So obviously they can't be too bright. It's a mindset that even other people, because they put it in, because some of them put it in the book, and they said, don't worry, African men, they're not going to be able to see this. And they don't think that somebody undereducated going to figure out and go back and tell their people this is what they assume about you. There's some black people that know this in high educated places, but some of them are cool with it. So they think that they get a superior mindset until they get their wake up call. When they hit a certain level in their career, when they hit a certain level when it comes to doing business, when they hit a certain level, then they find out, wow. Well, I'm not like the poor ones. Don't matter. It's a mindset. And when you think you might get a third of something what they own, but you'll have the 90% of what our majority of the counterparts have in them high positions. You don't have the power in government. You don't have the power in 90% of the commercial land. You own some land, but you don't have 90% of the acres of land. It's a mindset, and then the people you have land with, they carry the land. Who do business with the people that look like them. People see things by appearance. They want to interact with people that look like them, even though they might have a political and differential believement. Long the people that look like that. It don't matter if they're Republican, it don't matter if they're Democrat. Long as the people that look like that. You're in a country that is like this. And he said, well, it's not about race. Sometimes it's about class. But the people who even the people who are in high position is majority is the people as opposite of my color. That has keeping one of both parties. The majority of the people. The majority of people who are the governors of this country, the majority of the mayors, the majority of your town, the cities that run all of the things that look like them. Even though you got certain people here, certain people there, one Asian person here, one Native American, one person from a descendant of an immigrant here, but you still got 90% of the wealth is white people. 90% of the wealth is political white people. That you're next to, you're getting educated from. Basically, you're on the plantation with us. Basically, in a nutshell, the United States is like one big plantation. We're free, but the spirit of it have a spiritual plantation. This is the reason why, and when something get widespread, it goes into reflect what people do it. Then people do it, beat them, torment them, Wait a minute, hold on, wait a minute. We even when some of us that been into the military, and when we took the same spirit and put it over and put it among other people and then start distinguishing people, called them out their name, got a name for them. Then they put in the American movies, and that's how. And to my Vietnamese people, that's what it was. And to my Caribbean people, that's why they call you the G name. America, and it came from. I'm sorry to say, it come from a white man. It's because he gave you a name and put it on you, and the other people of other nationalities start calling you out your name, calling you the name during the time of war. That's why you get it. And so when they came back from war, when they came back from dealing with the Japanese during the war, the Korean War, and the Vietnam War, racism came back with it. So when some of the citizens from where your parents came from, America brought back with it. And I'm sorry to say it came from the white side who you live next door to. You're friends with them, you allies with them, but when you do wrong by them, they got a name for you. They got a name for you. That's why. And the kids pick that up when they hear it in their household. Just like when they call people that look like myself, who we don't necessarily agree with, they call us out our name. The name that they witchcraft on us for 400 or 500 years. That's a fact. That's why. What's with racism? It's not right. But among that, out there in the majority of in that population, in that town or that area where you at, that's why. That's how racism was taught. Someone in their military went over there and it's like, man, these doggone people, man, these doggone geeks. I'm not gonna say the word. I'm gonna say geeks. The geek people. So next thing you know, it spread around. Now you kid and say, what is a geek? Them people, and they saw your people on TV and in the movie. So their kids pick up that. So now your kids come over and come to school with their kids to do the program, and now your kids is getting called that. That's how racism spread. And the same people, we don't take it on these people now. Now let's put it on these people, because the reason why some of them do that is because they really, it's a kind of sick mentality. 1, 2 is that if that lets you know that I can do what I want to do because I'm white and I say so. Some of them people, and some of them, not all people, carry that, but some of them that are racist and prejudiced do that ignorantly. And if they didn't learn it from the household, they learn it from one of their friends that talk like that. They learn one from their neighbors that talk like that. They would sit around having a conversation. They start talking about certain people. Probably their little racial slur to come right out their mouth, and they picked it up. And so they sit around in the predominant area, whereas majority that look like them, having a conversation, and just jokingly put it in a joke, whatever, and they say it. And so it's like, wow, man, what is that? One of the Asian people you see over there. And that's how prejudice and racism was spread towards you. Because we didn't really know, our people wasn't the ones to call you out your name. But if we doing that, we learned it from the white man. If someone was calling you out your name, we learned it from them. And which is equally is wrong. Fact. This is true. When I lay it out, I'm laying truth and foundation, because that's what some people in this country, and we don't like to dress the elephants in the closet. And not every white person agree with that word either. They call them an in-lover. Because their parents, since the days of old, practiced the mindset to a different group of people. Because one is fear, two, fear acts out in violence. Call it, next thing you know, you have some organization acting out in violence. Call your skinheads. Call your skinheads. Then they blame the people who are white, but because they have a different religion than what they was, and say that these people can control the government, so we're going to attack the synagogues. These would be people that you do business. So this demographic don't like this demographic of people, and the liberals that probably have some a sexual orientation, so they jump on them because they sexual orientation because they're white, because they have a different religion, and so some of the people live in this part of the country, in the little parts of the country out there, in your little rural towns and small areas, because they don't understand the demographic, let alone Asian people coming out there. Now, some people out there, not everybody's out there like that, but some people, they learned this because they were the majority at one time, and they scared because they slipped to be the minority. So what they do, they act out on, and they from generation to generation on you, as well as myself. That's what they do. This is the reason why this country was founded on that. From day one, from generation to generation. Some of every generation is gonna have some racism until one day God will make the universe and the planet can come back and squash it all. That's the only way it's gonna be squashed. But otherwise than that, no. There's always gonna be homophobic, Islamophobic, racism in the United States, and it sometimes it goes to a higher level. Sometimes you got people or got children that get officials in government that are racist, and you catch them in their boardrooms and on their country clubs saying racist stuff, on the golf course saying racist stuff, in the bar saying racist stuff. So they act out when they have to deal with someone in business. It act out when they have to go to school with someone. It comes to act out. Whatever, and they wear it. And it's genetic. It probably sometimes it's passed generation to generation. Now, you probably wonder why, because there's somebody on here. Why is this happening to me? How long has it been happening since the founding fathers of this country? That's what's going on. The nationalities starting from the beginning, and these other people came from other parts of different places that didn't see people that looked like them. So they automatically, they had to think of an ethnic name to call them out their name. I'm just giving you history. Why is it? I'm basically telling you the real America. The underlying of it, where all this come from, why are you getting attacked, why are you calling out your name, why they calling kids out your name. Fact. Where does this come from? Even probably in Europe it's the same way. Probably. I wouldn't doubt it. Because they came from these other countries that oppressed the people, they took some of the people into slavery. You be the next group that they come at. Is the mindset. People that look like them is a mindset. Who are these people? And they don't understand what we're talking about. They don't speak my language. And they don't look like me. Some people are not adjusted. And there's still places in America that people still want to look like them, majority of them. It's not about multi, all come together ethnically. No, there are some white people till this day don't want to see that. They do not want to see it. So the kids, they talk in their own household, and the kids pick it up, or someone pick it up, and then they get their kids get around other kids who are friends with. Then they start saying that, and that's where the bullying come in, because they heard it from some adult. Could have been a neighbor, sit around having the barbecue, kicking it, having the barbecue on the back of the yard, having a political discussion, and just throw out the racial term just like that. Then when they encounter you, they feel that whatever's in them, whatever is in them, is coming out. It's coming out. Of course, not everybody in that area is like that. Not everybody in your town is like that. But not everybody that look like them agree with it. And the one that don't agree with them, they don't have regards for them either. They call them out their name. Because they don't believe in their political belief. And they think just because they got the same skin color, they should be in the same agreement with them. This is among white people. And the white people, any white person heard it, they know I'm telling the truth. Just because you don't oppose what they believe in, it could be somebody in their family, or they just sit around having a conversation. Something political or whatever, and they feel comfortable being around their own just because they can't be in front of a mixture of people having this kind of conversation. It has the people that look like them to draw it out, to draw that out, and you really find out what they're really about. And it's not just somebody, and this has nothing to do with Donald Trump or Biden or anybody like this. This is just something, and then some people. It's been in their family, it's been in their blood, they pass it down. And you, right now, you just the brunt of it. They're just taking it out on you. And to my other Asian people, I'm sorry you're going through this. I'm sorry. And even though that the scientists went over there, with the laboratory over there in this particular city in China, everybody else got to feel the brunt of it. It's nothing new. Anytime when active famine, war, people really show their true colors. And they got to find somebody, even in the medical community, in the education community, in the judicial, they got to find a race. When something goes on that your TV, your radio, someone comes some part of the world, somebody is going to be racist against somebody. Guarantee you. I even seen them between Ukrainians and Russians. Even they let the Ukrainians tell the Russians, "No, you good." No. That's the first time. But with some Middle Eastern people, some brown and black people, and other people that look in between, they got a name for you. You come to America, they got a racial name for you. What part of the world you come from? You ever get that? What are you, Chinese? What you look like? What are you? And then when they go back and tell them what your nationality is, some people in America who some that underlying racist person, well, we gotta call them a name. Then they teach it to their kids. Well, you come from the islands, or them island hoppers. Then they call these people from island hoppers. Guess even though we in the most culturally diverse country, but we not thought that racial stuff on anybody. We got a name for every race. We call them out their name. It's not just you. It's part of living in this country. As long as the majority of them, that's how the way it is. Somebody among the majority of them is going to be like that. And they teaching it, and their kids are picking up on that because some adult told them that, or they were sitting around having a conversation, or they heard it from a movie. And sometimes the movies play a part of that too. So they learn it from the movie, who they sat next to an adult, picked up with it, like some slave movies, whatever. Look what these kids are doing. They pick that up. When it comes to a Holocaust movie, guess what they do? If you're Jewish, they learn that. They mock it. They think it's a joke in their community. We don't do stuff like that. They do. Some of their kids do that stuff. We don't sit there and make it seem as jokes about someone being cast in the oven. We don't make racial jokes about someone being on a reservation. We don't make jokes about that. We don't put them in the jokes and jokingly, but they do. And it started among, and how it started, when they relatives got off the boat, when they come to the Mayflower, they set up their own, start cracking jokes with the Irish, the Polish, and all these other people, Jewish, and all the other people. As they start innuendo, and the majority start looking like them. So as they got here 2 or 3 generations later, they start doing that. Learning from their grandfather, their father sitting around, joking around. Hey, you know how the Polish people are? Yeah. Oh, what are you, Italian? What are you, what? White people did that. Oh, you're Irish? Oh, they'll get going to Irish. Who's spreading around? They are. It's a mindset. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is to my Asian people. This is why it's happening the way it does. Why is it Asian hate crime? But you need to understand where this come from. Why is it happening? Not justifying it. I'm not saying it's all right, but this is the reason why your kid is seeing this, and kids going to continue to see this in your generations to come, until one day this earth goes disintegrated, or the Most High God, and we all are on this boat together, because it's a spirit. It's a spirit that continues on and on and on. On and on and on. Whereas the majority of people that looks like a certain demographic of people who are fair complected, that's where it comes from. Miseducation. Not saying that everybody that look like that, but you're gonna have a certain demographic of people that look like that, out of ignorance, and they love the ignorance because ignorance is entertainment. So my name is James. Till next time, you guys take it easy, and just some. So to my Asian American people, the people who are friends are married to Asians and wonder why this is going on. This is the video to you. This unique shit, and just take note. This is the reason why it's happening. This is the truth. No one's going to tell you this. Many people going to be straight laced forward with you with it. How and where it came from. Why is it happening? Because people want to deny and reflect and deny. But till next time, you guys take care and you be blessed out there and keep your head up. Know that God made you just equal no matter who you are as an Asian person. He got you here on this planet for a reason. Not to be succumbed, bullied, killed, maimed, picked on, tormented, just because it made you feel shame because of the way your eyes is, your lip, your body is. He made you for a reason. It's obviously why you're here. And if people can't use no common sense, then they're just plain stupid. They just want to be ignorant. So don't take it personal. And so don't take it's just a part of America. This ugly part of America. That's who we are, and we don't like it. It should be a shame, but some people. But supremacy is here. The systematic is here. It won't let it die. It goes to another level. All right, then you guys take it easy. Be blessed. And have a good day out there.